Hey everybody, Jay Shockblast here, and here's one of the videos you guys have all been asking for, and I've been hoping to do. This is going to be the 10 characters that I wish were in this game, Lego Marvel Superheroes, that will be either as DC, or were in the game instead of other characters, or maybe in the next game. So, we know there's going to be another game, and it makes sense for them to hold out a bunch of characters so that there's some new, fresh faces for the next game. But I think some of these guys people were pretty excited about. So let us see what I have on the list, and I will try to have it all make sense. Obviously, because of the fact that there's no real gameplay of these characters, I can't show you gameplay or anything like that. So I'm going to have a bit of a slideshow going on as I talk about each character that I wish was in the game. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know what you think if I missed anybody. If I did, let me know who you wish was in the game. So before we get started, I want to talk about a character that would be the number one character if I were just picking for myself. And that's this guy right here, Darkhawk. Darkhawk's one of the first comic books I ever bought when I was younger. I was just a huge Darkhawk fan. I probably had Darkhawk number 1 through number, I don't know, like at least 20 or 30. It's one of the only books I followed a lot when I was younger. He made a comeback recently in the Nova comics, and he was involved with the Avengers Academy. So this would be my number one personally, but I don't know that it necessarily matches up with what I feel would be best for the game. This is just really selfishly me wanting this character in the game. So I wanted to give a little hat tip to Darkhawk and say I'd love to see him in the game, but not at the expense of what makes sense with the popular characters that I feel like everybody would have enjoyed, not necessarily just me. I feel like this list that you're about to see is more about what would make a lot of sense for everybody, and not just one person in particular. Yeah, there's some opinion involved, but obviously I don't know that Darkhawk is really going to be a guy that everybody would want to see in the game. Whereas I feel like, for the most part, I think a lot of people are going to agree with my top 10 list. So in any event, my honorable mention for this list is Darkhawk. Let's get started. All right, at number 10, we have Namor the Submariner. How could you not have the original mutant on your first Lego Marvel Superheroes game? I know Namor may not be as popular as he once was, but he is still a pretty important character in the Marvel Universe. He's also had very prominent roles in a couple storylines recently. Most notably, he's part of I want to say the New Avengers storyline with the Illuminati. He's one of the big characters in that, with Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Black Bolt, and Beast taking over for Professor X, Mr. Fantastic. I might have missed one character, but he's one of the guys that's a big part of that. Obviously, before that, he was a big part of Avengers versus X-Men, even taking on some of the Phoenix Force. So I would think that Namor would have been a really great character. They did have a section of the game that was underwater. I know it wasn't really a big part of the game that was underwater, but it was still there nonetheless. We don't know what they're going to do as far as a theme if they do a second game, so I could definitely see them possibly holding out on him for that reason. But, I just think that this is a character that, is every bit as classic a character as, Iron Man or Captain America. He's been around for a really long time. And, I don't know what his powers could be. He could have something where, actually, he can fly, so I don't see why he wouldn't fly. But if you think about the way that Storm works, where she has, like, that little tornado under her feet, he could have had something like that with water. He could have been one of the characters that shot water, that put out fires, stuff like that. So there's definitely a place for him in the game. But alas, he's not in it. and the Statue of Liberty is. So that is number 10, Namor the Submariner. At number 9 on my list, you know her, you love her. She is Rogue from the X-Men. Now, I know there are a bunch of X-Men in this game, but there's room for one more. And Rogue is one of the more popular ones, I think. I could have gone two ways with this. I went with the one that I preferred the most. The other way I could have gone was Kitty Pryde. I know a lot of people really like Kitty Pryde, but I really feel like Rogue is a much more popular character. And X-Men Days of Future Past is coming up. I know a lot of people are really excited for that. Rogue was obviously in the last few X-Men movies. And I think I've seen her in the new trailer that recently came out for this one. So it would have been definitely a really good character to have in here. I can't say that I'm really too worried about her not being in the game. I could definitely hold off until the next game, because she was in the Deadpool video game. So she's had some shine in a video game recently. So yeah, we've got that going. But I just feel like it would have definitely been a really cool opportunity to have her in this game. I think a lot of people have been pretty excited about it. She's played a pretty big role in the Uncanny Avengers recently, and I know the game, came out well before a lot of these comic books were kind of going. Although there is Superior Spider-Man, so maybe I'm actually letting him off the hook a little too easy. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have been really excited about Rogue. I know that reading your comments, a lot of you are really excited about Rogue. So it would have been pretty cool to see her in this game, but she's not. So that is what it is. Let's see what we have for number 8. At number 8, we have Vision, who is one of the, I wouldn't say the original Avengers, but he is definitely a very long-standing member of the Avengers. I like him quite a bit. He's was part of the Age of Ultron storyline somewhat, which was a weird storyline, but it was one that Marvel pushed pretty hard. Vision has been around such a long time, and he's such a cool-looking character. With you having so many Avengers, I really felt like, having Vision in the game would have been pretty cool. Again, not the end of the world. Also, a character I could definitely see them holding back for a Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I'm not heartbroken he's not in the game, but when you look at some of the other characters that I talked about that did make it, like Squirrel Girl, it just kind of, it would have been nice to see this guy in this game. And I keep bringing up Squirrel Girl because I know she's such a one of those characters that you either love her or you hate her. And I know there are a lot of people that are right there with me in the hate department, but there's probably more people that love her. So, in any event, this is not about Squirrel Girl. This is about Vision. I would have loved to have seen him in the game, but he's not. And let's see who we have at number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have X-23. You know her as the clone, the female clone, I should say, of Wolverine. Her name is Laura Kinney, and if you've been following the Avengers Academy, she has been a pretty big part of it. I'm not a very huge fan of this series just because I feel like it's just a complete rip-off of the Hunger Games, and I really don't like the fact that they're really forcing a lot of characters to die, I guess you could say. But it is what it is. She seemed like the likely candidate to make it through the whole thing because, she can't die. But whatever. I know this is a really popular character. Not necessarily a character that I love, but, it's a female Wolverine, number 1. And Wolverine's pretty cool. So I know that because she's got that younger kind of look, and she's a girl, that a lot of people really gravitate towards her, and she's definitely a cool character. I know that I can see why she was left out, definitely, because essentially she is Wolverine, but it's just a really popular character that I think a lot of people would have loved to have seen. I definitely think that there's probably a place for her in the second game, if not DLC. But I certainly would have loved to have seen her over, Mary Jane Watson or somebody like that. So, in any event, number seven, X-23. Coming in at number six, we have Apocalypse himself. That is right, Apocalypse. This could have been a really great opportunity for a really awesome character. Another character that barely missed the cut was Mr. Sinister. Both of these guys, I feel like, would have been great choices for the game. And Apocalypse, though, more so than Mr. Sinister, because I feel like he's had a bigger hand at a lot of things, especially recently. I think I can see why he was held out, considering you have a lot of more classic villains in this game, like Loki, like Red Skull, like Armin Zola, like Doctor Doom, the Destroyer. A lot of those more, the Sinister Six, a lot of those classic villains. Not that Apocalypse isn't classic, but a lot of those guys go way further back. We hope that there's going to be a second game, and I see no reason why there wouldn't be. So I would love to see a second game centered around characters like Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister, especially Apocalypse. I mean, we have one of his, I think a few of his horsemen, but namely we have Archangel in his X-Force costume, with the metal wings that Apocalypse gave him. So would have loved to have seen him here. He would have been a really cool big character. Could have had some really great powers, but he's not in it, and all we could do is cry. So at number six, we had Apocalypse. At number five, we have Nightcrawler. I think Nightcrawler would have been a really great choice. I know that a lot of people, honestly, I think probably one of the most asked for characters in all the comments that I've seen in all of my videos. Where's Nightcrawler? Where's Nightcrawler? Where's Nightcrawler? Holy cow, Nightcrawler's not in this game. Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler. So, with that, you would think I'd probably have him a little higher on the list. But personal preference puts him down a little bit lower. I definitely like Nightcrawler a lot, and obviously he's up here. I think his teleportation skill would have been really cool. They could have used that in the situations like when Mr. Fantastic squeezes through grates. He could have been like Loki, where Loki gets up to those grates, and when he press B or circle, he just teleports to the other side. With that said, Deadpool should have been able to do the same thing. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, it would have been a really great opportunity for Nightcrawler. They also could have had his power be where he just teleported to different parts of the screen to do attacks. Something where it was like bamf, bamf. Just what he's known for. It would have been pretty cool. But hey, he didn't make it, so what can you do? He could have also been one of those digging characters, kind of like Wolverine and Sabretooth. He could have, if you look at the way Toad kind of runs in the game, it would have been pretty cool to see him kind of run like that. So definitely some missed opportunity there. I think they'll have to, with the response I've seen, I can't imagine they're not going to try to get Nightcrawler into the next game, if not some DLC. One thing about DLC, though, they haven't really done much in the way of DLC in previous games, so I don't know if they're going to do post-launch DLC at all. I know I've heard something about possibly, the Warriors 3 being some DLC, but we'll see, I guess. But in any event, number 5 on my list is Nightcrawler. All right, at number 4, we have Quicksilver. So Quicksilver is going to be in the next Avengers movie. So it would have made a lot of sense for him to be in this game. With that said, we all know, and I've mentioned several times during this video, there's probably going to be a Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So holding him out for the second game. Actually, three of the next top four characters on my list all could be held out, specifically because they are going to be in the next Avengers movie. Um, so they might have just held on to him and said, hey, these are great characters. Let's put them in the next game. It'll be right around the time the movie's out. Blah, blah, blah. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But, Quicksilver would have been a really great opportunity to have a speedster in the game. If you look back to Lego Batman DC superheroes, they had the Flash and they had Zoom. Both of those guys, or Reverse Flash, both of those guys were speedsters, and they ran really fast through the map instead of flying, or they could run up buildings, I believe, too. So instead of flying, they were able to do that. I feel like it would have been some copy and paste in the coding just to get the same type of feature in this game with Quicksilver. That would have been a really different type of character compared to a lot of the other guys in this game, because a lot of the characters in this game are just shared powers and abilities. So Quicksilver, I think for that reason alone would have been really awesome, just because he has such a different skill set from all these other characters. He also happens to be, I believe, the son of Magneto, who is in the game and plays a pivotal role. Is what it is. He's not in the game, and I think there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be in the second one. So, number 4 on my list is Quicksilver. Coming in at number 3 on my list, it is the sister of Quicksilver and the daughter of Magneto. It is the Scarlet Witch. And like I said with Quicksilver, she is going to be in the second Avengers movie. And it would have made a lot of sense to have her in the game. She's a really cool looking character. She's a female character. I feel like there's always room to add another female character. And she's got some pretty cool hex powers. I feel like she could have been a very similar character to Doctor Strange. But therein might be the problem. They've got the movie coming out not until I believe 2015. So I feel like this game is going to last at least another year before we see any talk about a Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So holding off Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch isn't the worst idea in the world. If you look at some of the characters that are in this game, you've got Gamora, you've got Star-Lord, you've got Rocket Raccoon, you've got Groot, you've got Drax, all members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out next year, so, this game definitely was used a lot to hype the Marvel movie franchise. Not just, the characters we all like. They did fill it in with some of those, but the Marvel cinematic franchise, the cartoons, the movies, those were really a huge focus. So obviously Malekith is in this game. There's about a 0% chance he would be in this game if it weren't for the fact that Thor Dark World comes out in a couple days. It's all part of the promotion process. So I think that's the main reason why Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and the character that you're going to see as number 1 on my list, I'm sure you all know who it's going to be at this point. The reason why those 3 were left out. But hey, I don't know if you guys have played the free-to-play game Marvel Heroes. You can play Scarlet Witch in that game, and her powers are awesome. Like, I always liked Scarlet Witch, but she wasn't really, like, one of my favorite characters. And then I played her in Marvel Heroes, and she was awesome. I thought that she was a great character to play. Not a character I would have ever bought if it weren't for the fact that she was one of the free characters you can pick. So I just really feel like it would have been cool to see her in this game, too. But that gives us something to look forward to with Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I doubt they're going to do DLC, aside from maybe the Warriors 3, like I mentioned. But I guess we'll see. They could always throw her in there. I think they're going to hold off, though, and wait for the next game. But At number 3, Scarlet Witch. At number 2 on my list is Cable. You can't have Deadpool without Cable. Of course you can, because Deadpool is one of the most popular characters in all of Marvel Comics and all of comic books in general. But Cable is badass. He's an awesome character. I mean, I know he's just a soldier, but there's a lot of stuff he really could have done in this game, and I feel pretty cheated that he was left out. Granted, you know, he was just recently in the Deadpool video game, so at least we do have him in a game that we can play, and he's also in Marvel Heroes, but this is, I feel like, one of the more popular characters in Marvel Comics. The thing of it is that I don't believe we've seen him recently. We definitely haven't seen him in any movies, and I don't think he's been in any of the comic books. He does have his own book, Cable and the X-Force, so that's been a pretty big book, I feel, recently. He did have somewhat of a role in Avengers versus X-Men, or X-Men versus the Avengers, whichever it was called, whichever order. I mean, it's Cable. I mean, this guy has been around for a long time. Very, very classic character. Definitely one that I would have loved to have seen in this game. But he's not, and, you know, there is that opportunity where he could be next go-around, so I guess all we can do at this point is wait and see. But for now, number 2 on my list is Cable. And that brings us to number 1 on my list, and it really should be no surprise. I alluded to it earlier. Yes, it is Ultron. So they just had this massive Age of Ultron storyline, and he's going to be the main bad guy, played by James Hayter, I believe, in the Avengers 2. Where's Ultron? He's a really cool character. You could have used Ultron as, you know, one of those generic characters where there's a bunch of them, you know, instead of symbiote scientist. I mean, I know a lot of that stuff makes sense, and I've already kind of talked about that before, but I just feel like Ultron would have been a great character to have in this game. I know it's a character a lot of you guys are asking about, simply because he has been announced as one of the characters for the next game. I'm sorry, for the next movie, the next Avengers movie, but again, as I've mentioned several times throughout this video, we know that there's going to be a Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. You know, TT Games does a fantastic job with all their Lego games, and I really don't see any way, shape, or form they are not going to make another one of these games. I'm positive we're going to see Lego Batman DC Superheroes 3 before, but, you know, they can pump these games out pretty quick. I have a lot of faith in them. And I have no doubt in my mind that a lot of the characters that you see on this list, especially Ultron, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Nightcrawler, and Vision, possibly Rogue, I think all those characters will definitely be in the next game. Apocalypse, X-23, Namor, Cable, could go either way. There's a good chance they could be in the game, maybe not, but we'll see. But we know for a fact Ultron's going to have to be in the next one. I hope they do some DLC. I mean, obviously, I love making videos for this game, and just any opportunity to make some more videos with some more characters would be pretty cool. I don't know if it's something that they're really going to do. I don't know if it's really worth wasting some of these characters on DLC. I really think it'd be a lot better for them at this point just to call it a day, have our fun with the characters we have now, and put a lot of these guys in the next game, and we'll go from there. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you wanted to see in the game that we didn't get. It doesn't have to be 10. Just if there are any characters that you think would be terrible that I chose, let me know. If you agree, let me know. And if you have some characters that you said, hey, Jay, what do you think about this? You know, these guys, you know, where are they? Let me know, because I'm definitely open to it. These are characters I think would have made a lot of sense. There are some characters that I certainly enjoy a little bit more than others, which is why I put Darkhawk as my honorable mention. Darkhawk would have been number 1 on my list if it was going by personal preference, but I understand he's kind of like a niche character and not really as popular as a lot of others. So, heck, we don't even know if the real Darkhawk is Darkhawk right now. So, in any event, I hope everybody enjoyed again. Thank you all for your support. And feel free to like the video if you liked it. And feel free to follow me on Twitter at JShockBlast. We'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody. Peace.